Welcome, and thank you for joining me in this reflective journey through the hidden significance of our dreams. Tonight, we're stepping away from sensationalism and dream dictionaries that promise one-size-fits-all answers. Instead, we're returning to the careful craft of understanding our own minds, using psychology, neuroscience, and a touch of cultural history as we explore how dreams might speak to us, what they may reveal, and why the act of paying attention to them could illuminate our waking lives. At first glance, dreams feel chaotic, the mind painting surreal scenes, unlikely encounters, and vivid emotions under the cover of darkness. But buried within this seeming randomness, psychologists suggest, lies meaningful psychological material. For centuries, thinkers have wrestled with this. Are dreams just random byproducts of brain activity, a kind of neurological white noise, or do they tell us something about ourselves? Let's start with the origins of modern dream study. It was Sigmund Freud who famously rocked the scientific world by proposing that dreams offer windows into our unconscious desires. In The Interpretation of Dreams, published in the late 19th century, Freud suggested the explicit content of a dream masks deeper, symbolically rich material, what he called the latent content. For example, dreaming of a locked door might actually represent the dreamer's feeling of emotional blockage or secret longing. Freud viewed dreams as guardians of sleep, safeguarding us from waking up by disguising unconscious impulses in symbolic language. Though some of Freud's more specific ideas, like the idea that phallic symbols permeate every dream, haven't withstood scrutiny, his core insight that dreams may encode psychological meaning endures. Just a few decades later, Carl Jung expanded the conversation. Jung agreed that dreams contain meaning, but he saw them less as wish fulfillments and more as messages, sometimes even warnings, from a broader psyche. He introduced terms such as the collective unconscious and archetypes, identifying symbolic motifs in dreams that recur widely across cultures. A dream featuring a wise old man, a flood, or a labyrinth could tap into collective, universal themes more than personal neuroses. Jung also believed dreams could help a person move toward wholeness, a process he called individuation. In this sense, dreams are not just reflections of the past or secret desires, they can be signposts guiding our evolution. As psychology matured, scientists began using more empirical methods. In the 1950s, the discovery of REM sleep and its connection to vivid dreaming opened new doors. People awake during REM periods reliably report dreams. More recently, brain imaging during REM has revealed activity in regions such as the amygdala, involved in emotion, along with decreased activity in parts of the prefrontal cortex, which handle logic and planning. In practical terms, this may explain why dreams often feel emotionally intense and lack coherence, but from a psychological standpoint, researchers continue to debate whether dreams serve a functional purpose. Some argue they help process memory or emotion, others say they are epiphenomena, byproducts without intrinsic meaning. Yet as a viewer of this channel, you know our guiding question: what insights can well-tended reflection on dreams offer? My invitation tonight is simple. Let's treat dreams not as flashy fortune-telling machines, but as rich, personal narratives waiting to be examined, like fragments of your own mind story that emerged under the veil of night. Dreams often speak the emotional language of the unconscious. Suppose you dream of being chased through a familiar landscape, maybe the shopping center you grew up visiting. Your heart races, you feel dread, you wake relieved. But what if that landscape represents something deeper, a relationship you avoid, an ambition you haven't acted on, or a social role you've outgrown? The chasing figure may not be a literal threat, but a symbol of unresolved anxiety. Paying attention to the emotional contour, fear, relief, confusion, can steer you toward where your attention needs to be. Rather than asking, "What does this dream mean?" consider asking, "What is this dream feeling?" Just as important is the historical and cultural context of dreams. Across time and geographies, human beings have understood dreams as meaningful. Ancient Egyptians, for example, had dream manuals and dream temples, where priests interpreted dreams as divine messages. Greek philosophy included dream visionaries and oracles of Delphi, who believed some dreams came from the gods. Even cultures today, from indigenous Australian traditions to Amazonian tribes, maintain practices of dream sharing and community interpretation. The point isn't to return to myth, but to remember that dreams are part of a collective human heritage. The brain naturally uses dream to explore significance, identity, and concern. To make all of this practical and grounded, let's walk through steps you can take when you wake from a dream that resonates. First, record it. Keep a dream journal on your nightstand and write the moment you wake before the details slip. Don't worry if your recollection is incomplete. Even fragmented phrases, images, or feelings are valuable. A dream under threat, joy, confusion, or longing can be enough to notice. Next, explore the associative web. Choose one image or moment. Maybe you saw an old friend smiling or a door slammed behind you. Close your eyes and ask, what does that image evoke? Emotions from a past memory, current life situation, something you fear or desire. Use I wonder questions rather than trying to assign a definitive meaning. For instance, I wonder why that door closing made me feel isolated. Meanwhile, connect to your waking life. Are you facing change? A job shift, relationship change, home sale that leaves you feeling shut out or unprepared? A helpful third step is to notice patterns. Perhaps dreams of losing teeth, falling, or running in place recur. These are everyday dream motifs that come up in journalism and pop culture. Remember, tooth-falling dreams likely don't literally forecast tooth decay. Instead, they commonly symbolize anxiety about self-image, powerlessness, or interpersonal conflict. Falling can convey beginners' hesitation, a lack of control. Running through sticky ground, you may feel stuck in waking life. With patience, patterns fade from coincidence into threads of deeper insight. Let's illustrate with a case. Sarah, a 34-year-old teacher gardening into burnout, began to dream of her classroom emptying of children, one by one. She woke shaken, not from horror but profound loss. In therapy, she didn't look for a Freudian clue about sexuality. Instead, she noticed how this dream felt disappointed, hollow. She thought about her current life. Her work was draining, her marriage mismatched, her hobbies neglected. Empty classroom became a symbol, not of literal absence, but of emotional emptiness. It nudged her to reconsider her boundaries, replant her priorities, and reconnect with what nourished her. The dream didn't give a map. It offered a signal. Something has changed. Internal support is running low. You need recalibration. Of course, dreams can include delightful surprises, flying, dancing, laughter. These positive dreams can signal emerging creativity, self-confidence, even spiritual nourishment. They may highlight strengths we downplay or parts of ourselves we've kept hidden. If you dream of taking the stage or teaching a crowd, maybe you're more ready than you realize. Instead of dismissing the dream as wish fulfillment, let it affirm and support your latent capacities. I also want to acknowledge nightmares, particularly for anyone who struggles with trauma or anxiety disorders. Recurring nightmares signal wounds unresolved. In trauma work such as with PTSD, one aim is not to decode symbolic meaning, but to gently desensitize upsetting imagery and anchor healing within the body and psyche. Treatments like image rehearsal therapy encourage clients to recreate their nightmare and then consciously alter its ending in waking life, symbolically reclaiming agency. So while dreams can hold insight, they can also hold pain. If your dreams are leaving you disoriented, afraid, or profoundly exhausted, I urge you to reach out to a trained professional. From a scientific perspective, researchers have tested whether dreams relate to waking experiences. Experiments involving dream diaries show that shortly after a stressful event, say giving a talk or facing conflict, people often dream about that event. Some psychologists argue that creative insights are much more likely to surface in sleep than in waking thought. The story goes that in 1903, the chemist Otto Hahn dreamt of bombs bursting in a bottle, which inspired his discovery of nuclear fission. Though anecdotes are thin evidence, dream incubation techniques, intending to dream about a problem before sleep, have shown promise in lab settings. If nothing else, setting your intention at bedtime readies your subconscious to work overnight. Let's explore another example. Javier, a graphic designer, struggled with a creative block for months. Nothing excited him. One morning he recorded a dream. He was painting a mural on a wall, but halfway through, the mural blurred into a rain-soaked mess. He felt frustrated, then restless, and he woke up. Instead of ignoring the dream as a stress reaction, he asked himself, "What is this wall? What is the rain?" He recognized the wall as a deadline, a looming launch on a tight schedule. The rain, his perfectionism. Once he painted too much, things blurred. Recognizing this, he gave himself permission to create a rough draft, mess and all, before refining. Within weeks, he completed his most expressive work of the year. The dream hadn't given him the design itself, but it revealed the internal blocks sabotaging it, along with a clue for action. Loosen up before finessing. Now, if you approach dreams with curiosity, but without discipline, they might feel like gossip, hints tantalizing but untethered. You can transform them into tools through intentional practice. Consider setting an intention before sleep. This night, I'm open to messages about my project. In the morning, commit to recording. Then systematically revisit your entries, coloring each image with emotion and connection. Some therapists call this dream work. You might do it solo or with a trusted friend or therapist. Treat it like a gentle inquiry. Imagery is not directive. It speaks in riddle and metaphor. Answers might come weeks later. Insight may appear slowly in moments of refinement. This is not fortune-telling, it's self-reflection. Sometimes the most striking dreams come in transitional life periods, when careers shift, relationships begin or end, or death enters a household. Psychologists call these life transition dreams. Because transitions shake our identity, dreams respond with visual metaphors, often of threshold spaces, doors, darkness, water, or orphaned vehicles. They press us to face liminality. Think of a dream where you're stepping across a bridge into fog. Instead of fearing defeat, you could embrace it as an invitation. Your psyche is acknowledging not yet known territory. You're doing the work, and the dream is saying, a new self is on the horizon. Acknowledge the ambiguity. Lean in. From a historical perspective, consider Mary Shelley, who famously credited the genesis of Frankenstein to a dream. A vivid nightmare of a scientist watching his creation come to life. The dream catalyzed an entire literary revolution. Many artists report similar origins. Percy Shelley, Salvador Dali, and Paul McCartney speak of songs, paintings, and poems born in sleep. What this shows is that dreams can serve as midwives of creativity, building through the metaphorical threshold between world and mind. Even if you're not an artist, you're creative by definition, no matter your work. Dreams, when attended to, can refresh the imagination that steers everything from problem-solving to emotional resilience. Some people worry that dreams are too symbolic, that everything becomes a puzzle. But the point isn't decoding a single right interpretation. It's opening access to self-knowledge. You're writing a rich story, layer by layer, and the best part? Over time, you become fluent in your own dream language. The image of climbing stairs might repeatedly signal achievement drives. Water could represent emotions. Animals might signify instinctive needs. Once you see the patterns, you navigate your inner world more consciously. I want to be clear, not every dream yields epiphany, and sometimes dreams can't be shaken free from neural noise. Research is split on whether dream meaning is universal or idiosyncratic. And it's true that too much symbolic overinterpretation risks reading everything through a narrow lens. That's why I advocate for balance. Treat dreams with curiosity, not dogma. Use them as invitations, not oracles. Rely neither on mysticism nor mockery. Instead, hold both perspectives, psychological and historical meaning, and modern cognitive and neuroscientific humility. A few final guidelines. First, keep your dream journal alongside gratitude or reflection prompts. Over time, you may discover surprising connections, nightmares fueled by daytime stress or recurring happy images during periods of growth. Second, cultivate patience. A dream may implode its wisdom through repeated nights in a mosaic of images. Third, talk about your dreams with people you trust. Community can sharpen insight. How did they respond? Did they see something you missed? Fourth, if a dream leaves you distressed, please consider bringing it to a trained therapist skilled in dream work or trauma-based intervention. As we close, here is a simple exercise you can try tonight. Before sleep, lie awake for a minute and notice one issue present in your waking life. Silently set an intention. Show me tonight how I feel about X. Allow yourself to drift. As you wake in the morning, let your dream memory come forward. Don't force meaning. Jot down everything, images, moods, vague scenes. Later today, ask yourself, which moment stands out? How did that make you feel? Where might that echo in your life? The point isn't to decode, but to connect, to sense the dialogue between your dreaming self and your waking self. In a fast-paced world, dreams invite us to slow down. They unveil emotional currents, creative sparks, and hidden tensions. They remind us that beneath the day-to-day hustle, there's an active, meaning-making process happening in sleep. Our dreams don't predict the future. Instead, they illuminate the present. What we fear, what we long for, what we've yet to integrate. So tonight, as you prepare for rest, consider offering your mind a quiet question. What are you telling me? Trust that some answers will emerge, perhaps slowly, over time. Some nights will be silent. Others will be bursting with spectacle. All will matter, because each dream is a brushstroke in the portrait of your evolving self. Thank you for walking through this dream-lit terrain with me. If this resonated, I hope you'll keep a journal, reflect with courage, and witness what your sleeping mind is whispering. I'm grateful you're here. If you found value in this, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing. Our inner lives deserve respectful attention, and with each dream we examine, we take one step closer to living consciously, creatively, and with compassion. Until next time, take care of yourself, and may your dreams be gentle guides on your journey.